Okay.
Today's topic, because here comes your boy, Millennial Mike, is should you invest in a high cost of living state or at a distance because it's cheaper? Mike?
So this is going to be a formal debate. I'm going to give an opening statement, then Dion. Then we'll go back and forth. We're going to argue. Because Dion talks about investing in his own backyard. He talks about investing in these very high cost of living areas. And to start the debate, as we wait for the boat to go by.
Well, you're going to edit, right?
Pause. Maybe not. All right. Immediately, I will cede house hacking. You can house hack in any market, in any area, even when it's expensive, you can still house hack and be successful house hacking. But when you want to get started investing in real estate, a problem that a lot of people like myself, people like my friend Darius, when we come up against this issue, the issue is in order to save 20% for a down payment on a rental property, that is such a substantial hurdle that your average person, or even your above average person, can't necessarily make that happen as easily as if they were to go to an out-of-state market where rentals are cheaper and, in my opinion, cash flow a lot better. Now, out-of-state is not the end-all, be-all. It's going to be easy to make it happen. But for me, in my own personal story, when I looked around the Seattle area and I said $800,000 duplexes, 20% down payment, that's $160,000 plus closing costs. You're at almost $200,000 just to buy the house. Will it even cash flow because you still have a $600,000 mortgage? Or do I look out of state, build the network, build the team, and look at $100,000 to $200,000 properties where your 20% down payment is $20,000 to $40,000, and they will cash flow, at least if you go off the numbers I'm working with. So what I want to argue with Dion is, yeah, I think it's tough for people to get started today. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago. And because of those differences, you have to change your strategy, which might mean changing your geographical location.
Working and living in Washington State, how much money can you save every year without your portfolio,
You're talking
your
about
job?
Me personally?
Somebody who works with you.
Yeah, so somebody who works in law enforcement, probably making about $150,000 a year. If they're intelligent with their spending and they're not, if they really worked hard, they could probably save as much as, I'd say, $40,000 a year, maybe, if it was like a single guy.
A single guy. So average truck driver, $115,000 a year, a little less than an officer in your department.
Right.
But you figure they're working and they have a spouse, I think $30,000 to $40,000 a year in savings, sure. And yes, I get it. Most people can't save $5 a month.
True.
Until you start to save something and have a number that you can improve in the future, you're not going to save anything. But if you're focusing on investing, the average working couple that gets decent jobs, even in Washington where it is expensive to live, can save $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Now that first house hack is a down payment of 5%.
Mm-hmm.
And you said $800,000 duplexes in Seattle, Washington, that would get out of King County. It'll be in a high cost of living area, but not the insane county. To Thurston County, Pierce County, where you can find duplexes for $500,000 to $600,000, where I had offers in on 2 fourplexes at under $1 million. So
right.
These would cash flow as a house hack, even while living there. And to save 5% down is $50,000 for an owner-occupied house hack at 5%. We're gonna have to wait and edit this.
While we wait for this boat to pass us by, don't forget to like the video down below and let us know who do you think is wrong or right in this debate.
So the question is, with math, how long does it take to save a down payment? And the people who want to buy 3 or 4 properties a year are never going to make it in a high cost of living area. But even with me starting with low income, a lot of bad debt that I didn't know about until the divorce, single parent with 3 kids, in 2 years, I was able to save the down payment for an owner-occupied duplex. So at a $500,000 duplex, yeah, it's going to have a commute. It's not going to be right where you want to live. You're talking, what is that, $25,000 down payment?
For where I'm at? Or are you talking about?
In Pierce County?
Pierce County? Yeah, you're 5% down.
So
yeah.
if you can't save $25,000 in 2 years, you are not taking investing seriously. And then once you house hack, now you reduce or eliminate your living expense, which is going to add to your ability to save. And yeah, it took another 2 years for me to get the second property. So this is where the biggest barrier comes in. It's when you invest in Gary, Indiana, and you have $60,000, you can go and buy a property when you started investing, all cash. When we were investing at the same time, that was the down payment in Washington. So that was the comparison I was making.
True.
How long does it take a person now to save an all cash purchase in Gary, Indiana versus a 20 or 25 or even 10%, depending on your lender, down payment in Washington. It's going to take time. That's why we call this a 10-year journey. Now, here's the biggest difference. How much money do you make per property? Not what is your cash on cash return, because you can have a 30% cash on cash return on a low cost of living property bought in a cheap an area where you're making $300 or $400. Whereas a 8% return in expensive area, one property is making $2,000 or $3,000 a month in cash flow. It might be a lower return, but it's more cash flow. So I will get the right amount of cash flow from the least amount of units. Now, you nailed it at the beginning. House hacking, the more expensive the market you live in, the more important house hacking is. So if you need to close on a deal every 3, 6, or 9 months, the lower cost of living area for the bigger portfolio in numbers, sure. But if you have the patience to work, make more, spend less, get married like you just did, have 2 incomes, make more, spend less, to save and invest the difference. Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time had to cut his expenses down to where they were living on 100% of what they made. They made some major life changes and cut that down to 50% of what they made. So what sacrifices are you willing to make? And can you add the element of time? Because we end up with numbers, and yes, I've owned 2 of these properties longer than you have. The rest I purchased since you've been buying. Mm-hmm. But 8 properties, 18 rental units. Last year on my taxes that were filed was $144,000 in profit. What does the numbers in Gary, Indiana look like? Now, I have had 2 properties longer, right? So those 2 make more money based on how long we've had them. Mm-hmm. But the least number of properties for the most amount of cash flow is what I'm after. Mm-hmm. If I was starting today, I'm moving specifically to a high cost of living state. I don't want to move to Tennessee and go to the really cheap towns in the middle of nowhere. I want to be outside of Knoxville or Chattanooga where the prices are higher because I want more cash flow from less units. So even moving out of state, I'm not targeting super cheap markets, which is what you did with Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, high cost of living, though, is relative because, I mean, Tennessee is nothing compared to Boston. It's nothing compared to Hawaii. It's nothing compared to Seattle. It's higher than rural Tennessee. It's higher than Indiana. But if you're still looking at below the national median, which is $450,000, if you're looking at houses that are $300K, sure, it's high cost of living compared to some areas, but it's way closer to the median. My argument isn't necessarily that these markets in Tennessee are bad. My argument is that when you have to try to save a 20% down payment on even a $500,000 building, that's $100,000 plus closing costs. The amount of time it takes regular people to save $100,000 is a long time. Even the most elite savers, the prodigious accumulators of wealth that really hammer down hard, even myself, it would probably have taken a copious amounts of overtime. It would have taken me probably 3, maybe almost 4 years to save $100,000. During that time, appreciation's occurring, so the asset might become more expensive. You're missing out on getting that appreciation. Your money is kind of losing value sitting there doing nothing. And this characterization or framing of buying the cheap rentals like I buy is sort of positioned towards you guys as though, well, if you were just more patient. For anyone who doesn't want to buy 3 rentals a year, it's not that I want to buy 3 rentals a year. I would happily buy 1 a year if it's the right rental. But as I'm saving that money, at some point I got $20,000 in the bank. And then a few months later, you have $30,000. And then a few months later, you have $50,000. And so what I'm saying is I could take that $20,000 and immediately go out and buy a rental and start immediately picking up on appreciation, both in rent and in appreciation of the asset. And so I could wait and wait and wait and save and save and save. But most people are going to, struggle with the discipline to make it to the end, which is when you said, well, you don't have any business. Well, fair enough. But most people are going to start. But I think what's worse is they're just taking so long to get on the ladder. What's wrong with taking your first step into a rental like I did and building from there?
Since I'm moving away from Washington, I'm going to self-manage my rentals, which means I don't have the expense of a property manager. Investing out of state to start in a market you don't live in, you have a property manager who in the first few years makes more money than you do. Mm-hmm. I'm not comfortable with that. But here's the twist in the argument that I hope you saw coming. For over 5 years now, we've had this argument.
True.
Yes, saving 20 or 25% down for a property in a high cost of living area can take a long time. So hunt for those lenders that have 10% deals. Matt, the mortgage guy, often talks about their house deals where they have 10% down or DSCR loans with 10% down as an option on rental properties. But here's the mistake that I think you have made for 5 years now.
Okay, let's hear it.
Your first duplex in the town you live in
Yes.
was a 5% down payment.
True.
Okay. How many years have you lived in that duplex when every 12 months you could have repeated the process with the money you were buying properties in Gary, Indiana,
Right.
to do another duplex purchase, rent out the unit that you were in, keep your housing costs reduced or eliminated, even in the same town. Your kid could stay in the same school district.
Sure.
But 6 years now of us knowing each other, you're still in the same duplex.
It's true.
I'm on the third one.
It's true.
Since we've met.
Right.
Like, so there's an option you're leaving off the table because I started this video with, it comes down to what sacrifices are you willing to make? What are you doing? What are you willing to do to increase your income and decrease your expenses? And when you want to invest in Gary, Indiana, you take the amount of money, I think one was a $68,000 all cash purchase for a triplex.
Yep.
That at that time would have been the down payment on your second house hack, where we live. It's a little more now.
Right.
But if you can repeat the house hacking strategy in the high cost of living area, like our friend Darius should, before he buys more in Gary, Indiana, Darius can have a second house hack and in 2 or 3 years have $1,000 a unit coming in instead of $200 to $400, while your property manager is making almost as much as you do and charging more for repairs and more incentivized to have tenant turnover than you do as the owner, where you can minimize that.
So as I mentioned right at the beginning, I don't argue house hacking is the most powerful strategy. It's a great way to build a portfolio. It's worked really, really well for Dion. It's worked really, really well for Matt and Ashley. It's worked really, really well for Jeff and Salika, who've house hacked like 9 or 10 times. House hacking is unbeatable. I totally agree. There is a certain segment of the audience out there who, for whatever reason, be that they can't house hack, they won't house hack, their wife won't let them, there's not a bunch of duplexes or multifamilies in their area. People say all the time, I can't, I won't. And for those people, when they look at 20% on a rental, 20% on a rental in Indiana or another similar market, well, what about 10%? Sure, they can get in for less, but that's going to affect their cash flow on the back end. They're putting less up front. They're going to be having a higher mortgage payment to compensate for it. So you're just deciding where you're going to be spending money. And I think that there's nothing wrong with looking at what markets out there have advantageous investing opportunities. Now, I get flack all the time because Gary, Indiana is about as bad a market as you could envision. But there's many cities, like you mentioned in Tennessee, there's many cities all over the place that have much better cash flow than the Seattle or just outside of Seattle area for significantly less money that would be more achievable or attainable for the average person to save up and invest in. If you have the ability to house hack, you should. The reason that I didn't for so long before I met my wife, it was me and my son. And the only stability I had from my son was that he had lived in the same house and went to the same school for all of the life that he could remember. And, you know, could I find another duplex in my small city? Yes, there's not a lot of them, but there are some. Coincidentally, my next door neighbor is actually for sale right now, and I'm trying to help my brother buy that property. So yeah, could I house hack now that I have the support of a wife and everything like that? But you know what? I'm running into the problems many of you are. There's 4 of us. We're in a little tiny 1,100 square foot house. We've also taken my dad in because he's got some medical problems. So there's 5 of us. And to move us in terms of how many duplexes or triplexes are around, most of them are little 1,100 square foot, 2 or 3 bedrooms. It's tough to find something with some space. And so it's almost unfeasible for us to house hack again without telling my wife and my kids and my dad, everybody's got to make a massive sacrifice. Not just me, all of them. That's a tough sell, which puts people in a position where they can't house hack, which is where the conversation, I think, leans in my favor.
So you're saying I have privilege in that I can house hack more than once. So I need to check my privilege.
I wasn't saying Dion's privilege. He made sacrifices.
Now, let me...
Privilege is an insult.
Check your privilege.
Let's check it.
How long did you know the investor who invested in Gary, Indiana, and you watched him to see if he fell on his face or he survived before you jumped on his coattails, used his systems, his property manager, his agents to also start investing in the town you chose, Gary, Indiana?
I think about 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So most people aren't willing to house hack. I would say 99.904% of humans aren't willing to make friends with somebody for a year just to see if they would then piggyback on their market, like Darius did with you. Darius said,
my boy.
Mike's got some systems, Mike's got some strategies. Let me watch him for a minute, because I don't know. But after enough data came in, yes, the privilege of knowing Mark to invest in Gary, Darius knowing you. How many people are willing to build a relationship with, because anybody right now who lives close to Seattle, Washington, who makes Seattle, Washington income, can call any agent in Gary, Indiana and say, I have Washington money, I want to invest in Gary, Indiana. They will send you deals that look like 20 to 40% cash on cash return deals that every single local investor
and me
with a brain, you and Darius, and the other people there passed on that deal. But those people don't take the year it takes to build a relationship. Now compare that to the year or two that it takes to save the owner-occupied down payment. After 2 or 3 of those, you don't have to house hack anymore. You have the cash flow, you have your increase at jobs, you have to avoid life creep, not increase your spending. And now the ability to save that elusive 100,000 becomes a couple of years instead of 5 to 10 years.
Right.
And again, we're right back to everyone in the comments. I know that we're going to see, not everyone, but a bunch of people are coming to me in the comments. People can't save $5. Why are you talking about 100? Well, we're talking to the people who have the discipline to do what it takes to actually invest and have a better financial future. Whether it is at a distance, because it works, or in your high cost of living area, because it works. I don't think either one of us is right or wrong for anybody, but I think everybody can take something like house hacking works for you. Saving a lot works for you. Saving very little. Wanting more deals faster. Having the patience and wanting a small portfolio. Some part of both of our strategies and all of the investors that we work with in the One Rental at a Time community can help you get your next deal and find the one that makes sense to you. And like I told our friend Darius this morning when we were talking about should he house hack in Washington or should he buy the next place in Gary, I said you work, you save, you spend less. As your savings grows, you are hunting for the house hack in Washington and you are hunting for the deal in Gary. And the one that pops up first that makes the most sense is the one you go for. So you have a lot of criteria, but the deals that pop up are also the thing that tells us what to do next.
Well, I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. Who do you think's right? Do you think I'm out of touch? Do you think Dion's out of touch? Do you think it is, hey, just spend the 1.5 to 2 years making more money, spend the 1.5 to 2 years networking really well and learning about a new market? My argument would be some people can't make more money, but I don't really think there's anybody who can't spend the time on the phone or on social media watching people talk about a new market. I also want to see people get into real estate faster, and not that speed is the most important thing in terms of how quickly you acquire, but getting your foot on the ladder is the surest way you're going to be able to take the next step up the ladder, in my opinion. But ultimately, where we do have total agreement, and I assume most of you guys in the comments would agree, we've both house hacked. It's very powerful. It is hands down the smartest financial investment I have ever made. It made a world of difference for me, for Dion, for Darius, who's behind us, for Chesala, everybody. Appreciate you guys, as always, for watching. Let me know down in the comments below, who do you think was right? What do you think we missed? And until next time, we'll see you later.
And remember, when you come to a fork in the road, take it.